I'd like to call to order this Public Works Committee meeting for the City of Rapid City on Tuesday, August 1st, 2017. First order of business is roll call and a determination of a quorum. Brenda, when you're ready.
Drew.
Here.
Solomon. Here. Modrick. Roberts. Nordstrom. Here. We have a quorum.
Thank you. Next, we're on to the adoption of the agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And the agenda is adopted. Now is the time for general public comment, a time for members of the public to discuss or express concerns to the committee on any issue not limited to items on the agenda. Action will not be taken at the meeting on any issue not on the agenda except by placement on the agenda by a unanimous vote of the alderman president. Do we have any? I have no. Okay. So public comment is now closed. Now we go on to the consent items 1 through 25. Public comment is opened. Seeing no one, public comment is now closed. And now, let's see here. We will remove items from the consent agenda and vote on the remaining consent items. Anyone wish to remove anything? Jason Solomon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Number 11, 16, and 25, please.
Okay. Move to adopt the agenda, the remainder of the agenda, with the exception of 11, 16, and 25.
So moved.
Moved by Nordstrom. Second by Solomon. All in favor?
Aye.
The agenda is approved. So now we'll go on to the items that have been pulled by council. Okay. Item 11, professional services agreement between City of Rapid City and HDR Engineering, Inc. for Sheridan Lake Road Traffic Study, Alberta Drive to Corral Drive, project number 17-2373/CIP number 51122 in the amount of, well, okay, $148,190, and we'll go to Jason Solomon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. If I could direct a question to Dale Tech, please.
Go ahead.
Hey, Dale. So on this study, can you give us an idea of what this study will encompass?
Yes, this study is a corridor study for the Sheridan Lake corridor. The study limits have been set from Alberta Drive, which is out in Pennington County outside of city limits, all the way to Corral Drive. This study will include analysis of current traffic as well as projections out to the year 2045. From those projections, then there will be some alternatives as to what type of road improvements will be necessary in that corridor. Obviously, we'll be more focused on what improvements are necessary within the city limits of Rapid City. However, we'll have that data available in the future if the city continues to grow in that direction and we annex more of Sheridan Lake Road, what improvements will be necessary on Sheridan Lake Road to handle the future traffic.
Okay. Since a good chunk of this belongs to the county and it's their responsibility, will we as a city be sharing the data with the county?
Absolutely. This data will be available for anybody. So the county, there aren't any other political subdivisions of the state that would be interested necessarily in the data, but certainly the county would have that information available. As we develop out in that area, I anticipate the city would take over more and more of Sheridan Lake Road prior to those improvements being warranted or necessitated by the increase in traffic out there.
Okay. Thank you. I yield the floor.
Chair recognizes Richie Nordstrom.
Thank you, Madam Chair. A question for Dale Tech, please.
Go ahead.
Mr. Tech, is this involved with the state transportation improvement planning as well?
Actually, this is not. This one project, this particular study is a city-funded study, and we do have some future CIPs sitting out there waiting. We know that there's some improvements that need to be done on Sheridan Lake Road for capacity, for level of service. We've decided to move ahead with this study now, get it done quickly, if you will, instead of waiting for the state process for a study like this.
Thank you. And I agree with that. We need to move this along. Agreed. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Jason Solomon. I'd like to remind you we still don't have a motion on this item.
Bring it in to make a motion to approve, if I can get a second.
Motion by Solomon, second by Nordstrom. And you wish to continue? Oh, okay, all right. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, all right. Motion carries. Thank you. Okay. All right. On to item number 16, authorize properties outside city limits to connect the city water in accordance with Resolution 2014-192 upon execution of covenant agreement and payment of construction fees. We go to Jason Solomon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. If I can direct another question to our Public Works Director, please.
Thank you.
Dale, since these areas are outside the city limit and are not adjacent, can you tell me how this, tell me and the public how this works?
Yes, the city, we do have infrastructure that's located outside of our city limits that provides service to other parts of our community. The city recently, within the last 2 years, installed a water main along 143rd Avenue. Some of the properties along there aren't contiguous to the city, can't annex to the city even if they wanted to. We have plenty of capacity in this water main. In fact, this water main was installed for the purpose of providing future service out in this area. We've received a request from the adjoining property owners located in the county that aren't contiguous to the city to hook up. There was a resolution back in 2014 that allowed the city to provide service outside the city limits. So that's how this came about. They have to enter into an agreement because our city ordinance is not enforceable out in that area. Therefore, they have to agree to the terms of our water service, if you will, and ordinances. So that's the purpose of these agreements with the property owners, to be able to have our service and abide by our rules of service. Once they become contiguous, then there's a penalty if they don't choose not to annex. Certainly if they're adjacent to city limits and receiving service, utility service, we would prefer that they annex. So the rates, I believe, jump up to 300% if the city grows out to them and they choose not to annex.
Okay. And they'll pay a connection fee.
Correct. Yep. They'll pay all
so
the fees that are established by resolution, construction fees that we've had on this project in this area.
Okay, so just to summarize, to make sure I understand, we have this water main we paid for as a city. Areas outside of our city limits would like to connect to it, and there's plenty of capacity, no issues whatsoever with that. They'll pay a connection fee and a normal rate. Should they become contiguous, that they could annex into the city and continue at that normal rate, or if they choose not to annex at that time because they're contiguous, they'll go up 300%.
That's correct.
Versus the 100% in order to meet whatever our resolution is on that matter.
That's correct.
Okay. All right, I'll yield the floor. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Richie Nordstrom.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Another question or follow-up with Dale Tech, please. Dale, if you could reemphasize for us on the water usage fees that goes out there currently or will be going out there, just to remind us what the water rates will be. It's the same as the current city residents.
Correct, yes.
Yes.
These folks will pay the same rates that are established in our ordinance for a residential user.
Thank you. Yield.
Okay, we have no motion yet.
Move to approve.
Motion by Nordstrom, second by Solomon. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Seeing none, it's moved forward. Let's see here. Now we go to item number 25. Authorize mayor and finance officer to sign an amendment to professional services agreement with Thurber Engineering Company, Inc. for city bike path restoration and Rapid City Bank stabilization, project number PR 14-6118 in the amount of $6,475. And we recognize Jason Solomon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. If I can make a motion to approve and retain the floor.
Yes.
Just in reading this, just an acknowledgement that we are indeed improving the bike path, and we have our Parks and Recreation Director, Jeff Bigler, standing by. Jeff, can you share with us the area that this will be improving?
Yes, the area that is covered under this amendment is that stretch of bike path sidewalk behind the fish hatchery. It's almost a quarter of a mile, 1,400 plus lineal feet of concrete that needs to be replaced.
And currently, it's not, is that in pretty rough shape back there?
It is in a really rough shape back there, yes. And one of the issues that we discovered when we dove into this was that when this property was conveyed to the State Game Fish and Parks in 1950, the city retained a right-of-way for a utility right-of-way, but there was no mention of any access easement back there. So we have now secured an access easement from the state, and we were able to get in there and make the repairs.
Well, great work. Looking forward to seeing it completed. Thank you.
The motion on the floor is to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. That is the end of the consent calendar. Now we're on to non-consent items. Item number 26. Public comment is opened on item number 26. Okay. The chair recognizes. She didn't have a form. Yeah, I'll allow you to speak. Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. Oh, I didn't know what the problem was. Do you have it right here on the paper?
Please go up to the microphone and identify yourself and just tell us what you want to say.
Hi, my name is Jamie Jackson, and I just was wanting to, I have a food truck, and I was hoping to service the downtown area on Friday and Saturday nights around bar closing hours. And when I asked about the parking lot that was across from the Rushmore Motel, they told me it was owned by the city. And even though the parking says it's free on weekends because it's a food truck, they wanted me to get permission from you to sit there from about 10 o'clock at night until maybe 2 in the morning. So that's why I'm here.
Thank you.
Should I sit?
Yeah, go ahead. Just stay around for questions if we have any more questions of you, because some council members might have questions. Okay, public comment is now closed. And we'll go on to item 26. Request to allow a food truck on city property after leased hours to be located in the southwest corner of Mount Rushmore Road and Main Street. And the request is from Jamie Jackson, who we just heard from. We'll go to Richie Nordstrom.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'll just make a motion to acknowledge the request.
Motion is to acknowledge. We had a motion by Richie Nordstrom and a second by John Roberts. All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
We can talk about it.
Yeah.
Discussion Monday night.
Please come back on Monday night when the full council is here, and we can talk to you again about this and go into further analysis of why we may or may not allow a food truck in that particular spot.
Okay, Monday night is at what time?
6:30
Right here in this building?
in this building. Yep.
Thank you, Rick.
6:30. Oh, that's right. It's 7 o'clock. I won't be at the meeting, but it's at 7 o'clock on Monday night, which is a change. But yeah, it'll be at 7.
I believe that I will be at the rallies for the next 10 days, and then possibly an out of town for the food truck 10 days after that.
Would you go up to the microphone, please?
I'm committed for the next probably like 22 days. Do you have them every Monday night? Could I come on a third Monday?
The first and third Monday of the month are always when our meetings are, and you might want to check online at the city website, rcgov.org, and then you can make sure there's a meeting and, you know, when to attend.
So on Monday night, if I'm not here, you'll just continue it for 1 month from Monday night? Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah,
Okay,
okay.
thank you.
So it'll be continued for 1 month at the request of the council or the Public Works Committee. Okay. Do I make a motion on that? Do we have to have a motion or we just do it? Okay, all right.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Meeting is adjourned.